During this Connected Investor Success Short, you'll hear 3 real estate investing pros explain exactly how to implement the strategies that made them millionaires. Brought to you by PrivateLenders.com, where real estate investors go to get private funding for all of their real estate investments. Make sure to check out the links in the description of this video for full lessons and free giveaways. Let's get started. Welcome to the Connected Investors Podcast, Exactly How. During this episode, you'll discover exactly how to structure a deal as a private lender. His name is Doug Fath, and today he is going to explain exactly how to structure a deal as a private lender. Let's go ahead and dive right in, Doug. You talked about step number 1, knowing your market.
Yeah, I think it means knowing and understanding the market that you're looking to lend money in, right? I think even you and I were having conversations recently, Ross, about potentially looking at some things in some other markets. And as attractive as the opportunity was, part of our issue is we don't know those markets, right? So for us, we're local in Philadelphia, and we're pretty much lend within a 100-mile radius of that. And so having that market knowledge is extremely valuable.
So let's talk about deal structuring.
Yeah, so I look at deal structure in terms of 2 ways. One, how an asset-based lender would, which would be putting the borrower aside for a second. How are you structuring the deal for the asset that you're lending on? So, excuse me. So looking at it in terms of loan to value and loan to cost.
What else do our listeners need to know?
Yeah, so the other things, that's how does the deal structure, but the person that you're lending the money to, what do they look like, right? So in other words, as the lender, what is your underwriting criteria? Are you requiring a certain amount of cash in the bank by looking at their bank statements? Are you obtaining their tax returns to see how much money they make? Are you collecting a schedule of real estate owned so that you can see their entire portfolio? And so, at the end of the day, that's a choice you as the lender want to make.
You contribute a lot of your success to your commitment to personal growth and your development every day. Why do you think this has played such a big role in your success?
It's an old saying or sometimes, but it's either you're growing or you're dying. And I really believe that. And so what lights me up, what gets me out of bed in the morning is just, always improving, taking things to the next level. As you and I have spoken about before, whether it's travel, structuring businesses, business success, there's always another level. And so I think it's important, which I think as entrepreneurs and business owners, sometimes we struggle with celebrating the successes, which we need to do. But it's also important to, continue looking ahead. What's the next level? And to me, I just get tremendous amount of joy personally and satisfaction growing myself, as well as, with our staff and our team members, empowering them and seeing them grow as well.
The Connected Investors app connects you with investors, notifies you of available properties, helps locate cash buyers, and secure private funding to close deals. Set up in seconds to become a member of the Connected Investors social network. Now you can scroll through your main feed to find cash buyers, see investment properties not available to the general public, and network with investors by adding your own comments to a thread to keep the conversation going. The Control Center is your connection to add properties to sell, start new discussions, connect with local investors, and even find private funding. The Notifications tab will keep you alerted to new investment properties and offers. You'll also find new friend requests to connect directly with the community to build your network. From the property marketplace, you'll be able to find, favorite, and make offers on investment properties. Download Connected Investors today to find, figure, fund, and flip investment properties on the go.
He was actually our 2018 Real Estate Investor of the Year. I'd like to introduce you to the one, the only, Tom Cruz. Before the show, Tom and I broke it down into 3 steps into finding these portfolios, evaluating them, and then we're going to lightly touch on funding them. Tom, let's go ahead and talk about finding them. So someone's like, you know what? Sure. I want to buy 100 properties at a time. What do you start doing?
Yeah. So the way that we did it, we started first by talking to our commercial real estate agent. I would say the most important aspect on whoever on your team when you're buying is to have a really good agent. You know, make sure they're connected. It's not their first day on the job.
Step number 2 and 3 is to evaluate, and then we're going to talk about funding. So great. You got to go look at them all. How are you evaluating these, quickly?
Essentially how we evaluated them is the big items first and putting together which ones needed the most work, came up with estimates, worked that out, used that as leverage in negotiating further after we were under contract. I think we got it down to the 150 grand. And that was just the basic evaluation.
Gotcha. All right. So you guys know how to find them, how to evaluate them. Now let's talk a little bit about funding them. You're ready to fund this deal. You said it was like $6-ish million.
Correct.
So obviously you had your funding lined up ahead of time. Tell me a little bit about that, how that all came to be.
Yeah, so this one, I was able to really leverage my past experience, with the units that I already had, finding an investor that was actually a friend's dad of mine that was really, keen on getting into real estate, but he didn't have the time. He was retired. He really just wanted to, have a way to diversify his existing portfolio of investments. And we connected, we worked out a deal where he would bring the cash to the table. I would do the financing and be on the note by myself. And we were then able to put it together.
You contribute a lot of your success to networking and constantly talking to other people about real estate and partnering with them. Why do you think networking has played such a big role in your success?
I was able to use networking and connecting with other investors in order to obtain funding, financing, connections. I mean, it's everything locally. When you're trying to get $1 million loan on a portfolio of houses, being able to have a referral to a local banker that, it's especially in the small community banks, it's super helpful. A lot of the best deals are not going to be just sitting on MLS waiting, to be picked up. They're going to usually get picked up, before they even hit the market. So that's a big reason why. Also for actually funding the deal. I've worked with a lot of different investors that came up with the cash and I came up with the financing, or I did the financing and they came up with the cash. So there's always different ways to find complementary skills or talent or resources, by networking.
I am so excited for you to meet Mr. John Fedro. And today he is going to explain exactly how to invest in mobile homes. We broke it down to first knowing what people are paying, then knowing who's out there, and then 3, making a massive amount of offers. So I'm excited to kind of work through these. Let's jump right into step 1, knowing what people are paying. What does that mean to you?
Sure. Yeah. Before you make any purchase offers to any single seller, we have to understand what we're going to resell these mobile homes for. Not what we think we're going to sell them for, but what are you really going to sell them for? What are people paying cash? What are people paying with payments? What are people paying down and monthly and renting? Beautiful.
So step 2 was knowing who's out there. What does who's out there mean to you?
Knowing who's out there is the sellers. So that's the who. Gotcha. in this case. Knowing who's out there is definitely the sellers. We're dealing with, oftentimes we're not dealing with millionaires. The people that we help, sometimes they're in fragile, delicate, vulnerable situations. We're helping people that are, a lot of the folks we help are paycheck to paycheck, which actually around the country, most people are paycheck to paycheck. Yeah. So when we're helping folks, some people need to leave real soon. Some people have plenty of time, and get clarity on the entire marketplace, not just the stuff on Craigslist or Facebook. Really understand, shake the tree and understand who's out there, what are they selling and why.
So you know what people are paying, you know who's out there selling, you're trying to get to them ahead of time, just like you are in any real estate deal. And now you're making a massive amount of offers. How do you, scale that? What does that mean to you?
But I think everyone that I talk to, everyone that I go and especially have an appointment with, they deserve answers. They deserve an offer. I'm not pretending to come in on my, horse with, can save the day for everybody, but I want to help, one person at a time. So I want to make a massive amount of offers. I want to be frugal. Just because I have the money doesn't mean I want to spend it. So I'm usually making them a combination of offers. A cash one, a payment one, maybe balloon, maybe a combination of payments and balloon.
John, you contribute a lot of your success to self-guilt. That is a new one. And I'm really excited to understand why you think that's played such a big role to your success.
I heard a term a long time ago, motivational dissatisfaction. And I'm happy where I am, or I'm content with where I am, appreciative of where I am. But I'm dissatisfied as well. I know personally that I could be doing more. And I guilt myself a lot. I don't know if it's from upbringing or from where, but if I know I could be doing something better, I mean, I'm my hardest critic. No one is going to push me harder than anybody. No one should. No one needs to, or no one should care to, except me. So I don't know if that's something that was, if you're born with that, or if something like your nature versus nurture, but the guilt, I feel it's strong, and I kick my own butt every day, and I guilt myself that I should be doing more. I have my big to-do list every day that I look at and keep adding things to it. So like even a dream board, with The Secret, and you got to put a dream board out there, I would always look at my dream board and think like, I'm not doing enough. Like I need to be doing more, and I could be doing this. What else am I not doing? So that's the kind of constant, thoughts in my head day in and day out. If I'm not working, someone else is working, harder than me, or trying to, beat me in my market. So
you can also throw your name into a drawing to win our $3,000 software called Pin that pinpoints all of the best deals in any market and all of the most active buyers and private lenders as well. So it's the one piece of software you need to find any type of deal, whether it's an apartment complex or a single family house. If you're looking for it, it's inside Pin, and we're going to give it to one of our lucky listeners who visit exactlyhow.com. If you're watching this live, go ahead and go there right now. We haven't picked the name yet. Throw your name into the hat, and you might be walking away with this software.